yet. I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready? Okay. Hey, we're live now, and everyone knows we're not ready yet. So.
No, I'm ready.
Yeah, so we're live again, and we are here once again with Amos, who is apparently how many is this now? 5? I can't remember now. You just said it, and I don't remember what it was.
My 3rd time on your channel where it's just me.
There you go.
Not including other group streams we've done, like birthdays, Hapa Ethno State, stuff like that.
Yeah, we had one with you and Brooke, which was really good. That was
that was on
one.
their channel. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was the good. Oh, that was their channel?
No, was that on our channel?
No, that was on your channel.
Yeah, that was our channel.
I don't even know.
It was the Shitlord Preachers live stream. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a good one. Brooke's a really cool guy to talk to, so.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. And I'm not a cool guy to talk to.
Yeah, I know. But when you're here, so I'm just saying, he's not here, so. But yeah, so like we did with Larson, what we're going to be doing for this whole month of October, we're going to be speaking with Hapas or half Asians, because some people don't know what Hapa means. What does Hapa mean?
Half Asian.
There you go. So,
but we're not. I mean, like, we started off with like a set of questions, but what I've noticed is, and then also in the Hapa Ethno State live stream, this happened too. But a lot of the Hapas that are not race obsessed can't go on and on forever about race problems. Yeah. So whatever we end up talking about is fine.
Yeah, but we're just going to begin with Hapa.
The Jews.
Yeah, there you go, the Jews.
Oh, no, he said it. He said it.
Just kidding.
If you criticize Israel, you're an automatic anti-Semite. You can't even criticize Israel, not even a little bit. So. Okay, anyway, that's uncomfortable. Now everyone's going to take that out of context. Oh, my God, he hates Israel. Ah! Anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've asked you this question before, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you again for the people who don't know. So what is your mix?
Romaine lettuce with French dressing.
Good mix. Oh. I like it.
Oh, you mean my ethnic mix?
Yeah, your race.
My race. It is half so mainly Polish on my white side, my evil colonizer, oppressive, make my Asian side build a railroad side. Polish. Yeah, you guys know my actual last name, and it's a Polish name, so don't say it.
How do you pronounce it again? How do you pronounce
it? Then my mom's side is all Taiwanese, technically. If you say Chinese, I'll let that slide, but we don't associate with the Chinese because darn commies.
That's a good reason. Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
So do you have the shirt now that says it's okay to
he's wearing it. Oh, perfect.
So it says it's okay to be Hapa, and then there's the Chinese in the back of it. The Chinese is the Chinese phrase. It's called mixed blood, but the most common usage for the phrase of mixed blood in Chinese refers to Hapas, because that's the most common mix. Is you have local, like, usually white American men, Western men, European, whatever, come to Taiwan or China and marry a Chinese or a Taiwanese woman.
How do you fetishes?
Huh?
How do you say this on?
混血.
混血.
No, 混.
That word before.
混 means mix, and then 血 is blood, so mixed blood. And then when we say, like, when we're talking about someone who's mixed blood, it doesn't matter what, we would say 混血儿. R is like offspring or child of that.
And are you selling those shirts, or you just made one for yourself?
I had made one for my shelf. It's the pinned tweet on my Twitter. I put it up there. I don't think I've sold any yet, but I shared it with some of the Hapa people, tagged you guys in it.
Yeah.
I just thought it's something. I'm also making a Hapa Lives Matter.
Oh, there you go.
Like exactly the way they do it.
And then go make a protest.
People, awesome if you did that and people actually showed up. Like, yeah, Hapa lives do matter.
Well, see, the thing is It's Okay to Be Hapa is like reflecting on like it's kind of a parody of the more like the right wing kind of, It's Okay to Be White.
Right.
Hapa Lives Matter is like a joke on the left.
Oh.
So so for Hapas who maybe just don't care about either, could just wear those to like,
I would totally wear that to a protest,
Yeah.
and then they'd be like,
"Well, we are
the
we are the Hapa Supremacy channel, so."
But
yeah,
own the libs, right?
Yeah, own the libs and the conserves.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Own the conserves?
Own the
repubs?
Own the conservalibs, something like that. I don't know. If you just want to, shit on all of them.
The conservatards.
There you go. There you go.
I've heard someone say libertarians are libertaritards or something.
Libertards? Like yeah, libertarians.
No, lolbitarians.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Lolbitarians. That's a pretty funny one, actually. LOL. Get it?
Speaking of that, how'd it go with the Lost Eurasians the other day? Because every time we talk to them, we end up fighting. So, yeah, how'd that go?
Actually went really well. So we started off talking a little bit about... So yeah, I was on their stream. We actually went for 2 hours. It was myself, the Angry Shark J, and Pill Eater. Pill Eater kind of was in and out because they don't do Saturday stream often. But we went for 2 hours. It was like 1/4 of the conversation was Hapa stuff, and the other 3/4 was talking about Red Pill. Actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've been really into Red Pill stuff.
Yeah,
months, right?
It's been going on longer than that. It's just I didn't touch on it much because I wasn't really like at a point where I felt I wanted to share a lot of it, especially with the community. But the few times I've tweeted about it, it's probably the most controversial stuff that happens on my Twitter. Is if I tweet something a little bit Red Pill, I trigger just about it. Well, most people. And you guys probably know the different conversations we had with people we know. I gotten in contact with you guys remember the person you used to do a stream for, and they're not on the stream channel anymore.
What?
A certain girl that you had to remove the stream off your channel.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, I forgot. Okay.
Her. Yeah, that was like once I had a conversation with her through Twitter, I felt I wanted to talk about it more. So.
Oh, so you wanted to trigger all the people like how she did, to the point that she had to close the account.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a man, so I'm immune.
Yeah, so it works differently. They're like, oh, well, it makes sense because he's a guy. So. Yeah,
guys talking about Red Pill definitely triggers people, and but women talking Red Pill they think it's like you're a traitor almost.
Yeah, I'm a gender traitor every time I tweet something like that.
So all the women that like support Kavanaugh, they're all traitors, right?
Yeah, they're not even human. I don't know. I keep seeing like the weirdest tweets.
I saw I had a whole conversation with someone I knew for a while talking about. She's really into. I don't know if you know about Johnny Depp and his ex-wife.
Yeah.
What?
After he divorced her, she tried suing him for like domestic abuse and stuff. And a bunch of evidence showed that he was completely in the right.
Yeah.
So
she just made it up for getting back at him, I guess.
Yeah, and the whole time, Johnny Depp has been kind of shit on by the media because of the accusation. That's the thing people...
Well, I was going to say, I know that whole thing kind of blew up for him because when he got cast in the Newt Scamander movie or something like that, they were like, how dare you cast him in this movie? He's a sexual, whatever, domestic abuse.
Right. People also tried to force J.K. Rowling to kick him off the Fantastic Beasts movie.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that.
That's right. Fantastic Beasts, that's what it's called.
Oh,
my bad.
I don't know. You know something?
Then she was telling me a little bit about how Gary Oldman got in trouble with his wife too. Gary Oldman had divorced his wife, and I think there was some sort of custody battle, but the court ruled him to be completely innocent, so he was awarded, his part of the custody.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But even with, all that justice served and all that, or no justice served, it doesn't matter. They're still going to call them names.
And that's the thing is, if a man is accused of any degree of sexual assault or even harassment, it is instantly you're raised to the nth degree for your reputation is just ruined. Like, people are saying, well, that's, this is the public eye, like celebrities, but even like you can't imagine how even an accusation like that could go for just, a common person. Like, if you worked somewhere, like let's say you worked in some large company and someone accused you, but then nothing came of it, you're still going to be seen that way. So if you like ever had any friendships with other women or other guys in your workplace, it's going to be tainted for sure.
Yeah, and like, okay, so I wanted to say two things. So first, Jay in the chat was like, hey, I like you guys. We like you too. We're just saying we just agree on a lot of things. So I wanted to point that out earlier. And then the other thing is, what does he call himself now? Badger Man?
Used to be called Mining Freedom. Yep.
Yeah. So he did a stream with a I guess a common person who got accused of sexual assault, and it was proven that it wasn't sexual assault, but his name was ruined forever. And it kind of went viral like about a couple months ago. It was some guy in Canada, but it was interesting listening to that live stream because he said that basically his life was ruined over his ex-girlfriend who accused him. Well, I think it was just some girl he met on Tinder just accused him of sexual assault.
Yeah, it's people don't understand the damage it can cause.
Yeah. Because then, it kind of, when there's actual real cases of this, it kind of just, no one really cares.
Yeah, because then people are like, are they lying now or what?
Yeah.
I will be honest. So I used to be in a long relationship with someone, and I later found out we had moved in together and got engaged and all this stuff. Long story. Broke up, and she kind of had, like, I didn't know her actual, like, political beliefs until, like, afterwards. I think she shifted to become, like, I was a bit concerned because I thought she was, like, even just mildly a feminist. That I had been worried. Not that I did anything, but that put me in a kind of a weird position for a bit to think, like, what if she said something? Just felt like she could say something, like, because people can just be bitter about a relationship and want to say something, just to say something, no matter if it's true or not. That could hurt someone,
Apparently you don't even have to know the person anymore, and they can just accuse you of sexual assault.
Yeah.
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 Like, I went to high school. Well, that one time that you don't remember in high school.
Remember that time when you said hi to me? Well, I didn't like it, so rape.
What's with the awkward silence? Okay. So I know that this has nothing to do with that, but I'm going to ask you another Hapa question.
Okay.
Okay. So what culture do you feel more in tune with, and why?
What culture do I feel attuned with?
There's a right answer.
What?
There's a right answer? What, German culture? No, I'm just kidding. Because we're all Nazis, right?
Half Nazis.
No, it's weird. I primarily identify with, I guess, more on my American side. I mean, I don't know much Polish culture, but I guess my more American culture. However, I do have a strong sense of appreciation of my Asian culture. So, like, as much as I enjoy American culture, I still have my moments where I'm in some setting where someone does something that's stereotypically American, like being ignorant or being just, American.
Yeah.
You guys kind of get what I'm saying. Like people just who aren't as multiculturally minded, they don't really see, they just kind of see like, well, American culture, like through that lens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like when they
Or,
ask, like, do you speak Asian?
Yeah.
well, not even that, but I mean, just in settings where like times I've been in, let's say if I go to a restaurant with someone, or times that I've been out of the country with other Americans, I tend to be a little more, try to be as accommodating as possible to respect people's cultures, whereas Americans might not be. They just kind of go about doing things their way. I get this little thought in my head: "Goddamn Americans."
Yeah.
Oh, such Americans. And I'm like, well, I'm an American, but I will criticize Americans for being American.
Well, when you criticize Americans, you don't like go to jail or anything because of that, right?
No.
Okay. That's good.
What kind of question is that?
Well, criticize in some countries if you criticize, government or whatever, that's not good. But
Well,
Yeah, I was pretty cautious to not criticize Singapore when I was there.
did you go there to visit or you live there?
Brooke and I were there for a missions trip.
Oh, okay. How long did that last?
We were there for about a week. So back in 2012, we went to Thailand for 3 weeks and Singapore for 1 week. And when we were there was just certain attitudes that were shown by most of the team that was very sort of just, you could just see and it's nothing against people. It's just how you're raised, what you're used to. A lot of people kind of expected like the way things would be done. We're just, because we're Americans, we just did it this way. And I had, my understanding of Asian culture in general kind of helped me, if you want to say, blend in or be more accommodating with the people there. So I kind of would just look at the rest of the group and go, oh, you guys are, acting like a bunch of Americans.
Yeah.
they take what they have here for granted.
Yeah. And they expect just certain things when they're in other countries,
They expect people to accommodate for them, like
Yeah.
to their culture. Or at least that's what it seemed like to me when I travel. So,
Yeah.
especially the speaking English thing. I know they speak English in Singapore, but
They
like,
also speak Chinese.
yeah, and Singlish.
Singlish, yeah. Good old Singlish.
Yeah, I love Singlish. Let's move to Singapore.
I'm gonna move to Singapore. Gonna go over there and live and see how we go over there.
It's so expensive.
That's the problem. That's the only thing that's stopping me. It's too expensive.
$60,000 to get a license to own a car.
What?
Yeah. You don't even own a car yet.
Oh my god.
$60,000.
To get a license to own a car.
Oh man! And then
Not a license to drive.
It'd be funny then. It'd be funny if it's $60,000 to get a license, and then the car is only $5,000. It's like, oh great, Jesus Christ! But to get the license is more expensive than the actual car itself.
They probably wouldn't allow you to drive something that cheap because they would want something to be very fuel and pollution efficient because of like they actually have signs that will say don't rev your engine, it wastes fuel.
Yeah, I know they have a lot of weird laws there. So I guess that's
Isn't
not
that
surprising.
one of the countries where if you spitting gum,
Yeah,
is illegal?
Chewing or gum in general is outlawed.
That's right.
Yeah.
No. You can chew gum.
Really? Because
you just can't but they had a problem with people spitting it on the streets. So when we were there, we were offered by locals gum. It's just it's just we had to be cautious. They were like, just don't spit it anywhere. I mean, obviously we weren't going to, but people there have in the past, so they made it a $2,000 fine.
Yeah. Did you carry a durian on the train?
No.
Oh, you're gonna got a $5,000 fine for that, or 500? I forget. 500, 5,000.
Just some kind of fine for holding a very smelly fruit.
Mm-hmm. It is really smelly.
It's like a couple $1,000 fine to pee in the elevator. They have elevators with liquid sensors. So if you're like drunk in an elevator and you accidentally pee yourself, the sensor will kick in and actually stop the elevator and call the cops.
Wow.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
What if the elevator gets stuck and then you're in there for hours and you have to pee?
Well, we're calling the cops anyway.
Maybe that's the way to get out. You gotta pee so you can call the cops and get you out of the elevator.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So do you feel more pressured by Asian standards or Western standards? As far as like family and friends and stuff like that.
Family and friends, the Taiwanese standards are definitely stricter. I couldn't help but think, I was like, politically, Americans are ridiculous. By political standards, they're way too strict. I'm already way behind because I'm white. So, but then an Asian. I'm saying because we're half white, we're already in trouble by American political standards.
That's true. I saw an article. Of course, it's Mother Jones, but like they're saying that white people shouldn't be in power because it causes climate change. So,
yeah, that causes climate change. White people just standing around being white. Oh my God, it's a lot hotter today, huh? I guess I'm white, so that's probably why. It was 5 degrees yesterday, but now it's 5 degrees hotter today because I'm white. All right, that makes sense. God, that's so stupid. Is that literally the reason that they?
Well, they were saying like some expert said that we should have more women of color.
Expert.
Yeah, more women of color in powers of position so that we can reduce emissions and then therefore stop.
What kind of emissions? When they fart?
What kind of live stream is this?
We need to shut down Taco Bell because of gas emissions.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
What about all the other Tex-Mex restaurants in Texas?
How about White Castle? He knows what I'm talking about.
What?
I've only had White Castle once. No, twice. And that's it. Bad experiences.
Yeah, the thing about White Castle that I've heard is that it makes it very gassy.
I've never heard that, but okay. I never.
We'll just say it smelled like White Castle for weeks.
There you go. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All right. So next question. I'll read it this time. All right. Which one is it? Oh, that one. Okay. So, do you feel like being mixed has benefits, and also what about downsides?
Downsides. I don't know.
Downsides first, huh?
Downsides. I don't know whether or not I should be oppressed on a daily basis.
Come on now. How dare you?
Obviously, you should be oppressed.
I wake up every day wondering, do I oppress people to make a railroad, or do I make the railroad?
Wait, people still use trains? What year is this?
Transport stuff.
Oh, what about people? That's all I care about. What about the people?
I don't get it. Oh, you mean like people in trains?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like
subways count as trains.
I'm like Buddy the Elf. I'm not like I have like elf abilities, but I'm not like that good at them. So I can make a Nike shoe, but not really good.
Nike? How dare you? You're not allowed to buy
yeah, how'd
Nikes.
you bring that? Why would you?
I was just saying because they're mostly made in Taiwan. So
this is an Adidas live stream.
This is a Christian conservative one.
Yeah.
God, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
I was saying, I said, growing up, I eventually learned to just joke with people. They'd say, well, don't they like make a lot of stuff in Taiwan? And I'll just say, well, yeah, to get into elementary school, you had to be able to build a Game Boy from scratch.
Did people take you seriously?
And they go, what? Like,
That's why we're so smart. We can make a fucking Game Boy.
and again, in the kindergarten, you had to be able to make a perfect pair of Air Jordans.
Wow. So advanced.
What about the next year? Oh, because you're going to be on that railroad now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to make that shoe before you're making that railroad track.
You should make a shirt about railroads. I don't know how, though.
Half of me wants to oppress the world. The other half wants to build a railroad across America. I don't know.
Something like that.
And then you just have like a silhouette of like an Asian looking guy with like a pickaxe, like building a railroad.
Like, who's that character, that folk hero character that like, what is it?
Cuts down trees.
I think so. Not Johnny.
Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah, Paul Bunyan.
That's the big one here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We've got Paul Bunyan's little like statues and figures like all over in small towns.
So he's like your Rocky then.
I don't know. I mean, he's just kind of part of the lore, I guess. Like you'll find anywhere from like a 10-foot tall Paul Bunyan to like a 30-foot tall Paul Bunyan in different towns.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I probably know what it is if I saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
See, if you're in Minnesota and you want to know where your tax dollars are going, they're either going to the roads or the Paul Bunyan statue.
There you go. That's what you can complain about taxation now.
But who will build the Paul Bunyan statues?
I wonder if he tweeted that, if anyone would get that.
It'd be more of a Midwest, like a northern Midwest thing, because you do hear a little bit about it in like North Dakota and Wisconsin, but it's really big in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? Sorry. Anyway,
the upside of me being mixed,
there you go.
Yeah.
is I guess an appreciation for cultures, being able to look at cultures more objectively. So I will touch. American culture is definitely a good culture for how it like upholds, individuals and promotes like people, just the American dream, that sort of thing is really good. So I can like appreciate that, but I don't like worship American culture like typical Americans might. Just think like our culture's the best. But then I'll also praise like in Taiwanese culture how basically you can they don't praise individualism like we do, but their community, their sort of communal mindset they have. In Taiwan, Taiwan is very socialist, but their communal mindset drives them to be more self-sufficient. So you guys know Think Liberty, right? The group Think Liberty. Mm-hmm. So I just wrote them a piece that's coming out next, I think it's later this week, talking about Asian capitalism. Hmm. So basically, have you guys ever seen like or heard of like the night market?
You mean like the night market in Asia, like different countries? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Primarily in like China and Taiwan. I mean, they're China's communist, Taiwan's socialist, democratic. Well, they are actually democratic socialists if you really look at it. But the night market is a perfect example of very strong. What's that?
Sorry, my cat.
I was about to say the cat. You will see a very strong, like almost a completely pure laissez-faire free market economics going on in the night market, because anyone can set up like a vendor or a kiosk to like sell something or food. And there is technically licensing you need. What's the cat doing?
Shane locked her in the closet.
I didn't mean to. I totally forgot she was in there. That's what I was like. It sounded like it was like really windy out, or someone was like banging on the door from the next door neighbor, but apparently not.
Or Misha.
Sorry, cat. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
we were talking about Asian capitalism. The night market is a perfect example of capitalism and like laissez-faire free market kind of economics going on. So as much as like the Taiwanese government would say you should have a license to open up these things, like a little street vendor for food or selling stuff, majority of the people don't, and the police don't care. So there was like there was a place by my parents where they worked where this guy sold these they're like these green onion fried like pastries or something. Basically they're like a fried dough with like onions in it, and this guy sold it on a street corner. He would just bring his cart out, park there, and technically that's illegal, but the police don't do anything about it. And he makes money. People go up to him, buy the food. Like you probably also you'll see like people will have like they'll sell like fried chicken on the side of the street, stuff like that. But yeah, the night market is something that we just wouldn't really have in America. Like we think we're like where capitalism is happening in the world, but in Taiwan and China, you have these night markets in a more social culture and even social government where capitalism is a lot, where you can have this strong capitalistic system going on a small scale. People could lose their job, open up a vendor in a night market, and make enough money to get by.
It's like it happens anyway, even if their government is, socialist. Capitalism still prevails, even if
it's something to do. It's something to do because, like, if we took away all the regulations in our economy, the American mindset, the culture would not adjust well. Our culture just wouldn't, because we're also, not only are we like innovative, but we're also really lazy.
Yeah.
So that self-regulating sort of competitive factor of a capitalist system wouldn't really kick in so quickly. Whereas when you're in these night markets, it's just complete competition. People are making different foods, you're selling different products. And yeah, you're going to get some people that are giving you something cheap, but you're going in there and you can kind of pick up on these things. And like the market in there, that small scale, is regulating itself.
Now I'm really hungry.
But if you did it here in America, you get a lot of entitled people doing that. They wouldn't really, just the way our culture is, you wouldn't have a lot of people really like engaged in wanting to improve upon their product. We have entrepreneurs, but there's a lot of stuff that challenges an entrepreneur for them to, by the time they're actually making it in a small business, they already have these qualities. In Taiwan culture, that's just expected as part of being a person. You're very self-sufficient. Some of these people they don't have any skills. They'll go in there, they'll have very basic cooking skills. And they're like, well, I'm going to cook up, grilled squid. And I buy some, I kind of do it all right, and I get better as time goes on. And then, they stick to it, they eventually do well. But here in America, we have laws and licensing and taxes to vet out all that before we actually make it.
That's true. Yeah, I never thought about it that way, because if you end up failing before you get your return or before you like that far, then it means that you're just not, you don't have it in you, I guess. Here anyway.
Yeah, you're not quite hitting the ground running, whereas in the Taiwan, China, the night market setting, you're hitting the ground running.
Speaking of hitting the ground running. Now she's playing ping pong ball.
See, you guys aren't real Asians, because you could eat your cat.
Oh, come on. My cat's playing ping pong ball. That's really Asian. Come on. Yeah, see?
Nico and Shane used to have a dog, but they got really hungry one day.
That's him because he's Korean.
Yeah, we love dog.
All the dogs in our neighborhood keep disappearing.
Yeah, that is true. We do have a lot of missing dogs around here. This live stream is making me hungry. Yeah, that's what you just said.
I'm really hungry now too, because some of the best food I've ever had is from night markets.
Speaking of hungry, you darn quitters.
Oh, with the
carnivore diet.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's just so boring eating only meat. So we went back to Whole30.
It's so boring, yeah. I'm
You
sure
guys can try so many different things.
What happened?
You guys can try so many different things. You can do
You
steak.
can have meat.
You can have steak, chicken, pork, eggs, maybe cheese. I know you
can have all that stuff now.
Yeah.
but you have only that.
I'm still not eating grains, so at least I didn't mess that up. He's eating rice though, because
Brown rice?
he's a big boy and he gotta eat.
All right.
What did you say before?
Brown rice or white rice?
White rice.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong, Misha?
What are you
Sorry.
doing? Her cat is deciding today.
Ask the next question.
Okay, I'll ask the next question while she tries and gets our cat under control. All right. So, what do you think about different ethnic groups trying to preserve their race and looking down on race mixing? That's a good question.
What do I think of it?
Yeah. What do you think of it?
Makes sense. So I'm of the idea that, recently I've come to talk through talking to people who are more nationalist, and even people who are considered like the alt-right, whether they're more light, sort of, light on the alt-right. So like they're, whether they're more for just certain policies that don't encourage high immigration, to those who are like wanting an ethno-state on some level. For us, for us libertarians, we will like espouse our ideals because we think, oh, capitalism and freedom and these things, they all work so well because human nature, like they harness the potential of human nature to better ourselves, provide like a good product or something. We'll espouse that because that's human nature. But when it comes to tribalism and our instinct to want to be with those we are like, not just like politically, but also racially, it's not that to say like people are just inherently racist, but people are inherently tribal. For the longest time, we were, hunting along plains, and if we saw someone that didn't look like us or didn't behave like us or wasn't with us, one of us was going to be dead that day. Now, I'm not saying just go kill people that don't look like you. Obviously not.
There we go. There's a good quote.
I'm obviously not saying that, but there's always two things that tend to happen. I say that happen every time you come across a person. So if I'm a white guy and I'm walking down the street and I see a black guy, two things happen in my head. The first thing is my, what people call like their lizard brain, their primitive instinct kicks in because I notice he looks different. A couple seconds after that, my higher brain, my more, intellectual, higher thinking, if you want to say even just progressive thinking brain goes, that's just a human being, because I understand that. Instinctually, I will see him as different. Intellectually, I understand he's just another human being, and genetically we're not really that different unless you're like looking at little things. Obviously there's racial differences, but by and large, there's only one race, the human race.
Okay, so then based on that, when you see Asian people or white people, do you have this like an internal reaction of saying like, oh, I'm like them or not like them, or which group, or do you feel the same?
It's a constant process of just, I still stick to seeing people as people. Now, do I have my preferences? Like, this tribalism I talk about, as long as as much as your SJWs are out there saying, trying to praise and push for race mixing, the statistics just don't line up.
Well, now they want segregation. Didn't you know that?
Huh?
Now the progressives want segregation. As long as the people are.
Well, outside of that, I'm saying like, for all of I don't I don't see racism. Sorry, I don't see race mixing as wrong. But if people don't want to do it, that makes sense too. Like you can, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
So if there's obviously more and more people nowadays that do crossover and race mix and have Hapa babies, half black, half white babies and stuff. But the statistics are still showing that a majority of people will still only have kids with someone of their own race.
Yeah,
That's just human nature.
Or have you heard of different Asian countries? They'll date foreigners, but they won't marry them because their families won't approve of it, or they don't want kids that are mixed, things like that.
That's kind of what happened with my parents. There wasn't like complete disapproval. There was definitely a little tension around it. So the first time my grandmother on my mom's side met my dad, my mom brings him over to her house, and he was like 5'11", tall white guy. He walks in, and he had those like big '90s glasses too. So he walks in to meet my grandmother. They weren't married yet, but walks in, and he said the first thing she did was she saw him, yelled out, "Foreigner," ran into her room and slammed the door.
Wow.
Nice reaction.
Yeah. But eventually she gave my mom her blessing and they got married in Taiwan. So
it worked out then.
It happens enough in Taiwan that most people are okay with it. I've never really, the only time I've ever heard any sort of like disapproval or anything, to be honest, in Taiwan, the only time I hear anything slightly negative about race mixing is when it's involving a black person.
Yeah, Asian people from Asia are really racist sometimes.
They are very racist against black people. Yeah. And it's not like they have like hatred. They're just very ignorant of it.
Yeah.
Like if they saw a black person and saw that like he was smart or he was exhibiting like just being a really smart stand-up guy, they'd be like, "Oh, that's interesting," but they wouldn't be like, "That's not right. He's black." Like they would just be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just willful ignorance of the culture because it's so much different. Like they're cool with white people, they're cool with other Asians, kind of. Sometimes, but black people is like an unknown for them.
Yeah, especially because I keep hearing stories about like Black Americans who go to teach in like Korea or Japan, and then like they teach like a kindergarten class, and then the kids are just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, who are you? Are you from a different land or like a different world or something?
Well, they don't see them all that much because, I mean, they live in an Asian country, so of course, you're probably not going to see a lot of black people anyway. So you're just not used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it.
Or did we address the second part of that question? What do you think about people looking down on race mixing?
People looking down on it? Oh, I basically said it makes sense. I don't necessarily espouse that though. So like I said, if people do race mix, good for them. If people don't, good for them.
Yeah, it's kind of
one way or another. Like I said, with libertarians will try to hold up human nature as their reason for freedom and liberty, but when it comes to human nature of tribalism, they go no. Like they're literally afraid of even talking about certain racial differences, racial issues. I don't talk too much about like race realism, But even talking about it like triggers people. Not even if you don't necessarily agree. You just go, hey, these statistics show these things. These show those things. That's kind of interesting. People get triggered by you just saying that, even though you might not agree.
Yeah. And that's why, so I think maybe it's just like the stereotype of libertarians to be like that. But I guess a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, if I say this, but if I had to line up more
Win
with
the first time.
Yeah, I know, right? If I lined up more with one libertarian, it'd probably be Stefan Molyneux. Like, I like his approach to that kind of stuff, you know. He'll take those facts, but then he won't really, make it.
I mean, I think he looks a little too much into movies.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't listen to his movie reviews, but yeah.
So what you'll say
is the Hollywood left really trying to do this to us?
I'm like, man, you need to calm down. Like,
there's too many women in this movie. What are they trying to do? And I'm like,
yeah.
we get it. We get it, but chill out. Like, like the Hollywood left is some big propaganda machine, which is partially true, but he's like looking into every movie.
Yeah, when he did a review of it, I was like, oh my God, like that is like way.
So what you're saying?
Looking into
so what you're saying is you don't watch my movie reviews. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Very exaggerated.
That's what he thinks he talks like, but I don't think so. Now that I've listened to so many shows, I don't think so.
So you're thinking that race has a lot to do with IQ. Is that what you're saying as well?
Now you sound like you're from like, I don't know, what accent is that? Russian or something?
I'm trying, but I don't know. For me, when I kind of think about race mixing, whatever, I mean, there's people out there, I know that there are people out there who, are one race, but they're attracted to another race. You can't help that. I mean, there's people that are like that, like a white dude. Well, I like Asian women. That's who I want to be with.
You mean like your dad?
Yeah. My dad, but
like my dad.
Yeah, all right.
All of our dads.
But then there's also like white women who like black guys. I mean, I'm sure I'm talking about. But anyway, white women liking black dudes. Why do you think? Okay, I'm done with that.
I mean, yeah, I know, right? So like, you guys remember the picture I posted of my parents?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. Let me pull this up actually. So, here. Yeah.
You gotta zoom in.
Zoom in.
Oh.
So they're eating some fried squid there in Taiwan on their honeymoon. And, you never know. I mean, his colonial instinct just kicked in and he was like, I'm going to dominate this Asian woman. Because look at her. Like, so she's 20 in this picture and he's 23. How old do you think she looks?
I don't want to get too close to the screen just to look.
But yeah, I mean, she almost looked like she was.
Looked like maybe like 16.
Yeah. So no, it's just funny when I show people that they're like, "You sure your parents were like the right age?"
He doesn't look that old either, though. They both look young.
No, if I pull up like really old pictures of her, like when she was 18, she looks like she was 12. It's
so like normal,
Exactly. Because Nico, you're like what, 26, 7?
7.
27.
7.
But you look like you're 20.
Oh, that's good. Thanks.
No, you look 35. I'm sorry.
That's just the Asian thing. But then once you hit like 45, 50, you're going to look like 90.
Well, I still got another. Oh, man, I can't do math. How many years is that?
Well, you're 27, so you have about another 20, 25 years.
But you guys have seen that, right? The meme with like the Asian lady, like she looks super young, super young, super young, super young, and then boom, just
right when she turns 50, you just it just wrinkles up like oh, I guess you're not beautiful anymore.
Exactly.
What were you gonna say?
Why can't you look like you're 25 and you're 50? Come on now.
And then you're gonna be like bald too.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah, so
good luck with that.
Yeah, nice hair I got.
Yeah, please keep your hair as long as possible. I had to get rid of my booster seat, so now I feel really short.
What's nice is Shane can grow a beard, at least kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Maybe.
You definitely have more. For me, it's just like here and like down here, and it's like super patchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can grow like one of those Chinese, what are they called? Like
Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Remember Kill Bill? The Asian guy with the really long white.
Yeah.
And he's like just keeps looking at it. That'll be me.
Yeah, there you go. No shave November, you know. Yeah. That's coming.
I've done no shave for a whole month. It still looks horrible.
Yeah, I can't do that.
So you're not gonna do no shave November?
Nope.
Can you imagine if girls did no shave November? That's terrible. That's disgusting.
Then you'd be like a really crazy feminist.
No, that's only
my El Natural.
That's only if I dye it blue.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
See, Shane would appreciate this. You know Rodney Dangerfield, right?
Yeah. He
said, "Yeah, one time I went out with a girl. She had pigtails. Yeah, they were under her arms."
Yeah.
So this is the last question that we have. What's wrong with my voice? Do you have any advice for someone who struggles with their multiracial identity? So basically, do you have any advice for the people at our Hapas?
Yeah.
Great advice.
Exactly. Basically, they need to understand that racial identity, however important it can be for a lot of people, it's not the most important thing. They need to carve out their own path for just, having a culture that is praising both their white European culture and their Asian culture. And kind of you have to really carve out your own path. I think a path that you carve on your own, you make on your own, is going to be a lot more unique and make you a stronger person than the path that you try to walk. Because most people, if they're born and they're just one race, or or they're just more European, white people, Asian people, Black people, they tend to have some sort of an identity, some sort of path of identity, you could say, that is heavily that has been trotted out by the culture, their racial heritage that they can tend to follow. Like, so for a white person, they might go into a certain field, go to a certain type of school, because most people already do that, and that's just a track you follow. The problem with Hapas is they don't have much of a track to really follow, because there aren't a lot of us. And I think, what is the estimation of how many Hapas there are in the US?
I have no idea.
I think it was like a few 100,000 maybe.
Feel very unique.
Yeah. But
because it's just, we're not a culture, we don't hold sort of a cultural placeholder, if you want to say. We're not a staple in culture, that we don't really have our own. So because of that, you have Hapas have a harder time trotting out something, a life path. Like, okay, what kind of school, what kind of path they want to take, what kind of person they want to be. There isn't really a mold for them. So for Hapas, they really need to learn to deal with that and be their own person. Definitely try to find other Hapas to be with. Like, as much as the Hapa subreddit is cancer, I would still rather meet other Hapas than to not,
Yeah.
So they need it
right now.
Right. So I would definitely I'd like for them to learn to tough it out, and not get so caught up in the theories of power and dominance and all this stuff regarding their parents. Like, that may have been true at one point where there was some Asian fetish racism going on there, but it's mostly, it's of course, if not like a huge majority, just not the case today. If anything, the reason why white men would rather marry a Asian woman is because white women are too much trouble.
Oh, how dare you?
Feminism, you know, my empowerment, all this stuff, it tends to make a white woman very unappealing. And but then you go to China, Taiwan, or some of these Asian countries, oh, she's totally cool with cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, and maybe even picking up a part-time job if she wants to. But she tends to fulfill more traditional gender roles, and you know, if you look at a marriage as to who has what to offer, well, if she has all that to offer, the guy is more than happy to give her U.S. citizenship so she can bring her family with.
I heard a lot of stories about that being super complicated with actually we're going to talk with Sea Milk tomorrow. He's married to a Chinese woman, so that should be interesting with the family dynamics and everything.
Yeah.
So, but he lives, so it's a little different.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things, like, when you see relationships, you really have to see relationships as who has what to offer. And the Hapa thing is a response, if anything, to how white women are just, yeah.
I think it also has to do with, like, people just meet people and then they fall in love normally, you know?
Preferences.
Yeah. Because, like, a lot of people think that my parents met because of the military or something like that, but they just met in college. Just a boring story.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
Military.
Yeah. Military.
Yeah.
The military thing is more so the generation before us, not so much our generation. Because you have a lot of kids that were, like, born after, like, the Vietnam War or something.
Yeah.
For our generation, yeah, we were sort of the first product of the first generation of Americans that were, like, trying to get woke, I guess, to go to other countries. I mean, my dad's, I think I told you guys, my dad, he was at a college party drunk, and someone was like, let's do this for an exchange program. And well, where are we going? Well, you could either go to Germany or Taiwan. Where's Taiwan? It's in Asia. Yeah, I'll go there.
Wow.
And then he met my mom. So
funny how that works out. If you would have went to Germany, maybe you'd be just full German. Well, you wouldn't exist, but you know.
I'd be a real Nazi.
How dare you? So what you're saying is that you'd be a National Socialist.
Maybe.
Because
No, I probably would have been worse. I would have been a self-loathing German that because of Nazism, I'd be like, can't talk about it, can't joke about it, can't do anything about it.
And then you would love Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
Good old Merc.
Well, on that note, it's a good spot to end the live
Good old Merc. You guys have any other questions?
That was our last question, is advice for our Hapas. Well, to anyone who's struggling with mixed identity, or parents who are afraid that their kids will be struggling with mixed identity. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the parents need to really learn. I mean, if the parents are getting along, they need to learn to help, like, their kid be independent. Yeah.
I had any advice for parents with mixed race kids who are young enough, I would say teach them both languages if you can, because I wish my parents would have taught me the Asian language in my family.
Better start learning Korean so I can teach our kid Korean and English.
What, should I start learning Tagalog and then our kid's going to have to speak Tagalog, English, and Korean?
Hey, there you go. 3 languages. 3 languages to say.
I'm more Asian than you guys because I can still speak Chinese.
Yeah.
All right, start speaking right now. Say something to end the live stream.
谢谢 Nico and Shane 让我来他们的 live stream 跟他们讲混血儿的事情。I basically said thank you guys for having me come on the live stream talk about Hapa things.
Sounds good.
The chat was pretty cool too. There was some people talking about Hapa issues as well. So
that's good.
Yeah, that was a
lot. I'll have to read it. Sorry guys, I didn't even read the chat.
People are probably wondering, what am I attracted to? Both.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, I know you guys are engaged.
We're gonna marry a Hapa. How dare you?
Hapa, come on now.
By the way, congrats on the engagement.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Is that like a blood diamond? I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Did you guys watch? You guys remember Family Guy when they won the lottery?
Yeah.
Peter gives Lois a diamond ring, and she's like, is it a blood diamond? He's like, oh, the bloodiest. Those two kids killed each other to find this diamond. No, but before you guys met each other, and this I hope, I mean, just objectively speak, like before you guys met each other, what race were you most attracted to overall?
I know what you're gonna.
Besides Hapa's.
Well, you were like. Never mind. You answer your own question. I don't answer the question for you.
I don't know, because I mean, I went out with a black girl. I went out with a white girl.
That's it, though, right?
And yeah, white girls and 1 black girl. But I liked Asian girls, so I was kind of all over the place, really.
The chance.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I saying that? Like he's gonna get a chance later.
What about you, Nico?
I guess. Yeah, Asian and white. About like half my boyfriends were full Asian, the other half were full white. Mostly, but I did have a thing. Like, I have a thing where nobody who I've dated has been born in the United States. So I guess that's my type.
Were they all long distance?
What?
Were they all long distance or something? Oh, they were just born out of country and came.
Yeah, either they were foreigners who moved when they were younger, or foreigners who I'd met who still lived in their home country, but were living in the United States for college or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he's not born in the U.S. either, so that still counts.
Can't run for president.
Sorry.
Nope. I can't run for president. I'm sorry. I want to run for president, but I got to get rid of gerrymandering first. Do it. Because, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the whole, Arnold Schwarzenegger should run for president.
But obviously
that whole thing.
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, did you answer the question? Your own question, I mean?
What am I most attracted to? White women.
White women. Oh.
Yeah.
What a Nazi.
Specifically redheads.
Uh-oh.
What?
I better tell people that you're going after them. Just kidding.
I know we know a lot of redheads.
Yeah, I know. We know a lot of redheads on Twitter in our groups. So if they're watching this live stream, then
you have to watch their back.
Honestly, I definitely find Asian women attractive, and I do find like Hapa women attractive too. There just aren't a lot of Hapa women, and Asian women are too passive.
What if you found I got it. Okay.
Last question.
What if you found a girl who was her dad was a ginger and then her mom was Asian, or either way around. So she was half ginger, half Asian. So she got the red hair and the freckles, but she has Asian eyes. and she wasn't passed.
I mean,
Young, right?
what? What'd you
I
say?
don't know. We'll be on the lookout for that person. We'll figure it out.
It sounds like a unicorn to me.
Well, Hapas are basically unicorns, so there's not many of us.
I mean, if there's a Hapa girl that comes along, and like, I'm not exclusive or anything. It's just I found out I had an attraction to redheads for some reason. Did you know they only encompass 2% of our population, if that?
I thought it was only if they have green eyes.
Well, not that, but redheads in general. So natural redheads, they encompass 2% of our population, of like the U.S. population, but they're in 30% of movie. They can comprise 30% of actresses and actors. Actually, mainly actresses, because the same gene. Well, so the same genes that give them the red hair give them the clearer complexion. That the film industry, the media find so attractive. So like, because if you look, 30% of your TV commercials is going to have a redhead in it. And if you look at Hollywood, 30% of actresses are redheads.
Man, Hollywood's just snapping up, just grabbing all them redheads.
So that's how you succeed in Hollywood. You just have to have red hair. Natural red hair.
There you go. Bleach your hair red.
Bleach my hair red? Do you know what the word bleach means?
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on our channel again.
Yeah. Yeah, we got
Tune in next month when I come on. I'm kidding.
Tune in next month when he comes on to talk about what else have we talked about? Diet, race, politics. What else is there?
Red pill.
Oh yeah, when he comes back on to talk about red pill.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we've already talked about that. Never mind. Whatever. Okay, we're gonna end the live.
Well, before we do end, like for sure, before we end, in the chat, someone that we met at the Owen Benjamin show here in Dallas is in the chat. So say hi. So. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. I haven't been reading the chat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
He's been doing the chat this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever we reply to comments in the chat, it's like sometimes it's him and sometimes it's me. So better watch out.
So.
Okay.
All right. I think we're done now.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.